All right, let's give you guys the post-game thoughts of everything. The final score is 20-27. The Cowboys victorious in this particular game. My first takeaway is the fact that this defense stood tall. Now, although there was a lot of garbage time yards in the end of it, I would say this, though. Don't let this team fool around and figure things out on defense all the way. Overshawn did his job. They sacked Drew Lock 6 times. 6 times. He was running for his life. And what only thing that helped him, that opened up everything, was the ability for him to run the ball. He had 57 yards on the ground. He did that. On top of that, they looked pretty pedestrian as it relates to them throwing the ball, 21 for 32. Those numbers are inflated to a degree at the end because you have to look at this entirety of the game. I would say this, Rico, with 22 carries and 112 yards on the ground with 5.1 yards per tote and 1 touchdown, 22 being his longest this season. Altogether, I believe 22 yards of rushing is the longest for, I believe, of any running back for the Cowboys this year. So that's a crazy good thing for them. But I think that Mike McCarthy fell in love too much with the passing. 21 for 36 for Cooper Rush, 195 yards, 82 passer rating, 1 touchdown. I think that we could have been a little bit better in the red zone. Outside of that, Turpin, he looked phenomenal off of a few plays. Granted, CeeDee Lamb, he should have caught a few more balls than he dropped because it was terrible. He had 6 targets with 2 receptions, and he had about 39 yards in this game. When we look back at it, the Cowboys' penalties are decreasing, which is a good thing. But the way we handle a few plays here and there is very disturbing as it relates to clock management. I think Mike McCarthy got to get things better in that particular light. Far as our tackling, Eric Kendricks, 7 solo tackles. Bland, he gave up a big play on the latter end of the game, but outside of that, he's been solid since he made it back. I'm going to give you guys this. Kendricks had a sack. Wilson had a sack. Osa's on his way, y'all. He had him a sack in this game. And Parsons, they credit him with 1.5 sacks. Parsons is on his way. To having double-digit sacks this year, believe it or not. And we know the slew of games he's been out of it. And they split a sack with Mozzie. Mozzie is on the sack board, by the way. So that's pretty good. When we look back at everything, there's another guy that I got to bring up, that I got to mention here. And that would be Carl Lawson. I think that he's getting right into the right graces. Hey, and I'm not going to sleep on Chauncey. He's showing up too. But Lawson, he had to play himself into football shape. Let me repeat. He had to play and put himself and put in good situations to get back in football shape, if I can say it in that factor. And he's been phenomenal in that particular space and in short rotation duties for the Cowboys. So those things, I'm looking at it. I'm also thinking that, yes, this season, if we go back and look at a few games, we could have at least, if we were better prepared, been a +3 in some of these games. But, hey, we can only deal with what we can deal with, and that is being 5-7 right now. The Cowboys are 5-7. We got a tall order of tasks of difficult games. Our next 3 difficult games, in my opinion, not to sleep on anybody. Not to sleep on anybody. Let me get my Dr. Umar going. Not to sleep on anybody, but the Cincinnati, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Eagles. Those are our most challenging games that we have to face down the stretch. So how we look at those 2 or those 3 games will determine what the Cowboys can do. Now, granted, this is crazy territory to be in, being 5-7, ladies and gentlemen. It is a situation and scenario that the Cowboys, when you start talking about tankathon and all of this stuff, you can go ahead and kiss that goodbye. You can kiss that completely goodbye. Because at the end of the day, These boys, when you think about it, Parsons, hey, he got legacy and beyond, contracts and beyond to fight for. Osa, he got contracts to fight for. On top of that, if you're looking at what number 13 is bringing to the table, even he scored an INT, a pick six, tipped the ball to himself, ran it all the way in for the score. You got to really look into all of that. So the boys, they fighting for something, pride, legacy, and all of those good things. So they're not tanking at all. So you just got to get used to it, Cowboy Nation. We got these games. The strength in the hardest part of the scheduling was at the beginning, and now we're facing the thing that we are in the back. Okay, so it's updated on Tankathon, and they got us now at slot number 13. The Colts are ahead of us. Cincinnati, New Orleans, Chicago, Cleveland, Jets, Tennessee, Carolina, all of those boys are ahead of us now. And the Giants got the number 1 slot. They 2-10. So that's just how it goes. And the Cowboys, Mike McCarthy fighting for his life. So the next thing would be, let me see, we'll do the quick mock right quick. Let's see where we at with this. Okay, you still get you a wide out. All right, who's he the first person? Shador goes to the Giants. Hunter and them, he goes to the Jaguars. Cam goes to the Raiders. That McMillan kid, he goes to that's such a patriot move right there. Mason Graham, oh my God. Abdul Carter goes to the Tennessee. Will Johnson, he goes to the Michigan. Will Campbell, he goes to the Browns. That's such a Browns pick. Kelvin Banks, he going to back up the quarterback over there in Chicagoland. Starks goes to Saints. They need a safety / hybrid guy. And Gente, oh, Lord, with Burrows, Jamar Chase, ooh, he goes to Cincinnati. Colston Loveland, that will be a good pickup for them. And then we get Luther, not Vandross, but we get Burden the third. So a dynamic wide receiver that can fit right on into what we're looking for. Now, is he a tall target? Nope, but he got short area quickness. He cover every blade of grass. When he out there, you got to respect his route running and beyond. And if you're looking for that dog nasty mindset, he got that. So you still get you a good draft pick. If we drafting today, I don't think that a lot of y'all will be sitting back mad at Luther. Y'all would be mad at Luther. No. Yeah. And that wouldn't be a burden at all to pick him up to be here in Cowboys land. You see how I added that all in? And that is also brought to you by Underdog. Make picks, win money, win cash when you use promo code LAW. That's Law Nation. Be sure to check out Underdogs because that's where we at. We are the underdog. We are the underdogs on this Thanksgiving Day still, and we got a long way to go, Cowboy Nation, and we are slot number 13. Slot number 13. And keep in mind, C.D. Lamb was a mid-round on the first round draft pick for us. Zach Martin, right? Dez Bryant, Emmitt Smith. So Michael Irvin, I believe, to a degree. So you can still pick up a dog, right, in the mid of the first round. So just think about that. Let that sink in. And look, let's get this chemistry going. Let's figure this out. The final question of the hour would be, what do this mean for Mike McCarthy? Because there was still some hey, what is that moments by him being pass happy. What are the solutions for this dude, right? Now, do you bring him back for a cup of coffee? Do you marry his contract up with at least 3 to 4 years? Because what you don't want to do is bring him back for one more year. Because when you are a head coach, the thing that you can't do ultimately is this right here. Bring them back for 1 year because they assign your running back coach, your offensive line coach. You see, they have a lot of hands, tight end coach and beyond. So you just don't want a 1 year coach. You want multiple years with that. On top of that, ladies and gentlemen, if I can pull up PFF for a quick second before we depart, let me see if I can pull this up because I want to know your honest opinion, and I know it's not updated, but this is going to be for this week. We are the 30th ranked offense to 29th ranked defense, respectfully speaking. 10th ranked special teams, that dropped, but I'm thinking that we're a little bit better than that, by the way. Are you more impressed with this offense or this defense? And I'm going to say this too. Normally, historically speaking, Mike Zim in his first year, his defense takes time to get together. But the second year, woo, defense stand tall or not at all. So are you with the mindset that you are willing to rip the Band-Aid off, right, and bring in a different type of coach on defense, and then all of those players got to learn a different philosophy, scheme, and all of those things? Because we can argue that majority of the struggles as far as injuries been on the defensive side. So those are choices and options that Jerry Jones, and I thank God that I don't have that decision to pick who's going to be your defensive coordinator, your head coach, and who you want to bring in and these sorts of things when you're time to level out these contracts. Post me your thoughts. The Cowboys winning over the Giants. Post me your concerns and everything. The final score, 20-27. The Dallas Cowboys on Turkey Day. Very much so victorious. DC for life, not for short. Let's get it. Peace. I'm about. One love. Let's get it.